Good morning, beautiful souls. Today I want to talk to you about something incredibly powerful, the idea of proving everyone wrong, but not in a way that comes from anger or resentment. No, the way we're going to talk about it comes from a place of love, empowerment, and transformation. You have within you the ability to rise above anyone else's doubts or limitations. It's time to prove, not just to others, but more importantly to yourself, that you are capable of miracles. The first thing I want you to understand, truly understand, is that you are so much more than other people's opinions. This simple yet profound truth can change the way you live your life. For far too long, we have allowed the voices of others to dictate our worth, our capabilities, and even our potential. But the truth is, what others think of you does not define who you are. Their opinions are based on their limited perspectives, their fears, and often their own unhealed wounds. You are a magnificent being created with purpose and power, and the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can release the weight of their judgments. Consider this for a moment. When someone expresses doubt or negativity toward you, it's often a reflection of their own insecurities. People tend to project their inner fears onto the world around them, and unfortunately you may find yourself on the receiving end of that. Someone might say, "You can't do this," or "You're not good enough," but the reality is, these statements have more to do with their beliefs about themselves than about you. They are speaking from a place of limitation. But you are not limited. You are infinite. Think about how freeing it is to recognize that other people's opinions are none of your business. Once you understand this, you stop trying to please everyone. You stop trying to mold yourself into what others want you to be, and you start living authentically. When you live for others, when you base your self-worth on what they think, you give away your power. You shrink yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. But when you release the need to be validated by anyone outside of yourself, you reclaim your power. You become the architect of your own life. You may have grown up believing that the opinions of others were important markers of your success or value. From an early age, we are taught to seek approval from our parents, teachers, friends, and society at large. If someone says you did a good job, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel bad. But this cycle of seeking external validation is a trap. It keeps you in a constant state of dependence on what others think, which can change as quickly as the wind. What happens when their opinions shift? What happens when the people you've been seeking approval from are no longer in your life? If your sense of worth is tied to their approval, you will always be at the mercy of something outside of yourself. The key to liberation is realizing that your worth is intrinsic. It comes from within. You are valuable because you exist, not because someone else decides you are. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're worthy, because you already are. Your worth is inherent and untouchable, and no amount of criticism, judgment, or doubt from others can diminish that. When you start to understand this, when you start to internalize the truth that you are more than other people's opinions, something amazing happens. You begin to live authentically. You start making decisions based on what feels right for you, not what will get the approval of others. You start trusting yourself more. Your intuition becomes your guide rather than the noise of the outside world. And when you live from this place of inner truth, life becomes a lot more fulfilling. You are no longer weighed down by the expectations of others, and you are free to express the fullness of who you are. Of course, this doesn't mean that you won't ever feel the sting of judgment or criticism. We're all human, and it's natural to want to be liked or accepted. But the difference is that once you know your own worth, the opinions of others don't hold as much power over you. They might hurt for a moment, but they won't define you. You'll be able to let them go more easily because you'll understand that those opinions are just noise that has nothing to do with your true self. It's also important to recognize that not everyone is going to understand your path, and that's okay. People may criticize you because they don't see your vision, they don't understand your journey, or they feel threatened by your growth. But that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to stay true to yourself, to keep moving forward in alignment with your own heart and soul. As long as you're being authentic, as long as you're following your own inner guidance, you are exactly where you need to be. One of the most empowering things you can do is to let go of the need for approval. When you no longer seek validation from the outside world, you become unstoppable. You realize that the only approval you truly need is your own. And when you give that to yourself, when you fully accept and love who you are, nothing and no one can stand in your way. So, the next time you feel weighed down by someone else's opinion of you, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am more than their opinion. I am enough just as I am. Hold that truth in your heart and know that you are not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. You are here to be you boldly, unapologetically, and beautifully. The world needs your authentic self, not the version of you that pleases others. You are more than enough. You are worthy, and you are so much more than what anyone else thinks of you. You said, Expend it, turn criticism into fuel for growth in 800 words without heading. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. Criticism is something we all encounter in life, and it can come from a variety of sources: family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers. It's one of those inevitable parts of the human experience. How we handle criticism, though, determines whether it holds us back or propels us forward. In a world where many people are quick to offer their opinions and judgments, learning to turn criticism into fuel for growth can be one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. When you shift your perspective and view criticism as an opportunity for self-improvement rather than as an attack on your worth, you open yourself up to incredible personal growth. It's important to recognize that not all criticism is created equal. Some criticism comes from a place of genuine care and can be constructive, while other forms of criticism are rooted in negativity, fear, or jealousy. Regardless of the intent behind it, every piece of criticism can serve as a tool for growth if we approach it with the right mindset. This doesn't mean accepting all criticism as truth, but rather using it as a mirror to reflect on ourselves and the areas where we can grow. The first step in transforming criticism into growth is to detach yourself from the emotional response it may trigger. It's natural to feel hurt or defensive when someone criticizes us, especially if it feels unwarranted or harsh. However, if we let those emotions take over, we miss the opportunity to learn and grow. When you find yourself receiving criticism, whether it's constructive or not, take a moment to pause. Instead of reacting immediately, breathe and allow yourself some space to process what was said. This pause creates room for reflection, where you can determine if the criticism holds any merit or if it's simply someone projecting their own issues onto you. Once you've created that emotional distance, the next step is to analyze the criticism objectively. Ask yourself, is there any truth to what is being said? Could this feedback, even if it wasn't delivered kindly, help me become a better version of myself? Even criticism that seems harsh can contain a grain of truth, and it's up to you to mine that truth for your own benefit. For example, if someone criticizes your work, it might sting at first, but there could be valuable insight in their feedback that can help you improve your skills. On the other hand, if someone criticizes you out of jealousy or spite, the criticism might have little to do with you and more to do with their own insecurities. When you view criticism through the lens of personal growth, it becomes an opportunity for reflection and self-awareness. Sometimes criticism can highlight areas in your life where you may need to make changes, whether it's in your attitude, behavior, or approach to certain situations. It gives you a chance to assess yourself and make adjustments that align with your highest potential. For example, if you receive feedback that suggests you need to work on your communication skills, you can use that as motivation to become a more effective and compassionate commander. This type of growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choosing to see criticism as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. It's also important to remember that growth doesn't happen overnight. Turning criticism into fuel for growth is a process, and it requires patience with yourself. You're not going to get everything right the first time, and that's okay. What matters is that you remain open to learning and evolving. Each piece of criticism you receive can be seen as a lesson that moves you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Instead of viewing criticism as a setback, start viewing it as feedback from the universe, nudging you in the direction of your highest good. One powerful way to turn criticism into growth is by reframing your mindset around failure. Many of us fear failure because it often brings with it a wave of criticism from others or even from ourselves. But failure is not something to be avoided, it's a natural part of growth. Each time you fail, you're learning valuable lessons that are shaping your journey. Criticism often accompanies failure, but instead of letting it tear you down, let it build you up. When someone criticizes you after a failure, thank them silently for helping you see what you couldn't see before. Embrace the lesson, make the necessary adjustments, and move forward stronger than before. Another key aspect of transforming criticism into fuel for growth is maintaining a positive self-image. When you are rooted in self-love and self-acceptance, criticism no longer threatens your sense of worth. You know that your value doesn't depend on external opinions. Instead, you view criticism as an opportunity to refine yourself, not as a reflection of your intrinsic value. When you approach criticism from a place of self-love, you are able to see the feedback objectively without internalizing it as a personal attack. It's also helpful to approach criticism with gratitude, even when it feels uncomfortable. When you thank the universe for every piece of feedback, you open yourself up to even more growth. Gratitude shifts your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance, and in that space of acceptance, real transformation happens. When someone offers you constructive criticism, thank them for helping you see things in a new light. Even if the criticism is unkind or unfounded, thank them mentally for the opportunity to strengthen your resilience. Every experience, positive or negative, is helping you become more of who you are meant to be. As you continue to grow and evolve, you'll find that criticism doesn't carry the same weight it once did. You'll become more confident in who you are, and you'll be able to take feedback in stride without letting it derail your progress. Criticism will no longer feel like an attack, it will feel like guidance. And as you learn to welcome it with an open heart, you'll see that every critique, every piece of feedback is helping you become a more empowered, more enlightened version of yourself. In the end, turning criticism into fuel for growth is about embracing every aspect of life as an opportunity to evolve. It's about shifting from a mindset of defensiveness to one of curiosity and openness. When you make this shift, nothing can stop your progress. Criticism becomes just another tool in your toolkit for self-improvement, and you emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self than ever before. Self-love is the foundation upon which all other forms of love and fulfillment are built. Without it, we find ourselves constantly seeking validation, approval, and worthiness from external sources, whether that be other people, achievements, or material success. When we don't cultivate self-love, we become vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others, allowing them to dictate our sense of self-worth. But when we truly love ourselves from the inside out, we become unshakable. Self-love is not a luxury, it is the greatest victory we can achieve in this life, because it is the key to unlocking all that we desire: inner peace, joy, and lasting fulfillment. At its core, self-love means accepting ourselves fully without judgment. This includes our strengths and our flaws, our successes and our failures. Many of us grow up believing that love is something we must earn, that we have to prove our worth by being perfect, achieving success, or pleasing others. But the truth is, love, especially self-love, is not conditional. It is not something that is granted based on our performance or external achievement. Self-love is about recognizing that we are inherently worthy just by being who we are. It is about embracing every part of ourselves, even the parts that we might have been taught to reject or hide. One of the most profound shifts that happens when we cultivate self-love is that we stop looking to others to validate us. When you don't love yourself, you are constantly searching for love and approval outside of yourself. You want others to tell you that you are enough because deep down you don't believe it for yourself. This is why people-pleasing, comparison, and perfectionism can become such strong patterns for those who lack self-love. You're always seeking external reassurance that you are lovable and valuable, but external validation is fleeting. It can never fully satisfy the deep longing we all have to feel truly worthy. When you cultivate self-love, you fill that space of longing with your own unconditional acceptance. You no longer need to chase the approval of others because you recognize that you are enough, just as you are. You become your own source of love and validation, which frees you from the constant need to prove yourself to the world. This doesn't mean you stop caring about others or that you isolate yourself emotionally. In fact, self-love allows you to engage more deeply with others because you are coming from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You are able to give love freely without expecting anything in return because you are already full within yourself. Self-love also changes the way we relate to our goals and aspirations. Often we set goals or pursue success from a place of fear that we aren't good enough or that we won't be loved unless we accomplish certain things. This kind of motivation is draining because it is rooted in lack and scarcity. But when we love ourselves, we pursue our dreams from a place of joy and abundance. We are no longer driven by the need to prove our worth, but instead by a desire to express our true selves and share our unique gifts with the world. This shift makes the journey toward our goals far more fulfilling because it is aligned with our authentic desires rather than our fears. Another powerful aspect of self-love is how it helps us develop resilience. When we love ourselves, we become less affected by external circumstances. We are able to weather challenges, setbacks, and criticism without internalizing them as a reflection of our worth. This is because we know that our value is not determined by external outcomes. Whether we succeed or fail, whether others approve of us or not, we remain rooted in our own self-worth. This inner resilience allows us to take risks, step outside of our comfort zones, and pursue our dreams without fear of failure or rejection. We trust that no matter what happens, we will still be worthy of love, our own love. Self-love is also deeply healing. Many of us carry wounds from the past, whether they are the result of childhood experiences, relationships, or societal conditioning. These wounds can create feelings of shame, guilt, or unworthiness that keep us from fully embracing ourselves. But self-love has the power to heal these wounds because it is rooted in acceptance and compassion. When you love yourself, you stop judging yourself for your past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. You forgive yourself for not being perfect and recognize that you are worthy of love, no matter what. This self-compassion is incredibly liberating because it allows you to release the heavy burden of guilt and shame that may have been weighing you down for years. A vital part of self-love is setting healthy boundaries. When you truly love yourself, you protect your energy and well-being by saying no to things that don't serve you. You stop allowing others to take advantage of you or mistreat you because you know that you deserve respect and care. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out, it's about honoring yourself enough to prioritize your needs and well-being. When you have self-love, you no longer feel guilty for taking care of yourself or putting your needs first. You understand that you cannot give to others from an empty cup, and that taking care of yourself is the most loving thing you can do for both yourself and those around you. Ultimately, self-love is the greatest victory because it unlocks the door to true freedom. When you love yourself, you free yourself from the limitations that fear, doubt, and insecurity place on you. You are no longer held back by the need for approval, the fear of failure, or the desire to fit into others' expectations. You are free to live authentically, to pursue your dreams with confidence, and to embrace life fully. Self-love is the foundation for every other form of love and fulfillment in life, and when you master it, you master the art of living. So start today by choosing to love yourself unconditionally. Embrace every part of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your successes, and your failures. You are enough just as you are, and the greatest gift you can give yourself is your own love. When you make self-love your priority, everything else in life falls into place. You become a beacon of light not only for yourself, but for others as well, showing them that the true victory in life comes from loving and accepting who we are. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools we have for creating the life we want. Every great achievement begins as a thought, a dream, or a vision in the mind. When you visualize your success every day, you are training your brain to recognize the possibilities and opportunities that align with your desires. You are telling your subconscious mind, this is my reality, even before it manifests in the physical world. By doing so, you are not only clarifying what you want, but also setting the wheels of the universe in motion to help you achieve it. Success isn't just about hard work or talent, it's about mindset, belief, and consistency. And visualization is one of the best ways to cultivate that mindset of success. When you visualize, you are engaging your imagination in a way that activates your emotions. You aren't just thinking about your goals, you are feeling what it would be like to achieve them. You see yourself living the life you desire, having already accomplished your dreams. This practice bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it fuels your motivation to take the necessary steps to get there. The more vividly you can see yourself succeeding, the more real it becomes to you. The mind cannot always distinguish between something vividly imagined and something experienced in reality, which is why visualization is so powerful. Visualizing your success daily is like rehearsing for a performance. Just as athletes visualize their victories before stepping onto the field, or musicians picture themselves nailing their performance before they go on stage, you can use visualization to mentally prepare for your own achievements. When you consistently see yourself succeeding in your mind, it builds your confidence and reduces your fear of failure. You become more comfortable with the idea of success because you've already lived it in your imagination. One of the key components of effective visualization is specificity. It's not enough to just vaguely picture yourself as successful. You need to be clear about what success looks like for you. Take time to get specific about your goals. What does your ideal career look like? How does it feel to wake up each day knowing you're living your dream? Who are you surrounded by? What does your environment look like? The more details you can include in your visualization, the more your brain will latch onto that vision and work toward making it a reality. For instance, if your goal is to run your own business, don't just picture yourself as a business owner, visualize the entire experience. See yourself confidently managing your team, making important decisions, and watching your business grow. Picture your office, the people you interact with, the satisfaction you feel when you reach your goals. What are you wearing? What conversations are you having? Engage all your senses in the visualization process. Imagine the smells, the sounds, and the textures that surround you. The more vividly you can see it, the more real it becomes in your mind. Beyond helping you clarify your goals, daily visualization also primes your brain to look for opportunities that align with your vision. When you consistently visualize your success, your subconscious mind begins to filter the world through that lens. You start noticing opportunities, resources, and connections that you might have overlooked otherwise. It's as if your brain becomes a magnet for the experiences and circumstances that will help you reach your goals. Visualization creates a mental shift that makes you more attuned to the things that can bring your dreams to fruition. Visualization also plays a significant role in overcoming self-doubt and limiting beliefs. Many of us carry internal narratives that tell us we aren't capable or deserving of success. These limiting beliefs can create invisible barriers that hold us back from pursuing our dreams. But when you visualize your success daily, you begin to rewrite those narratives. You are telling your mind a new story, one where you are worthy of success, where you are capable of achieving great things. Over time, this new story starts to replace the old limiting beliefs, and you begin to see yourself in a new light. You start to believe that you are not only capable of success, but destined for it. Consistency is key when it comes to visualization. It's not enough to do it once or twice and expect results. Like any other habit, it takes time and repetition for visualization to work its magic. Make it a daily practice. Set aside time each day, whether in the morning, during a break, or before bed, to close your eyes and vividly imagine your success. Even just a few minutes of focused visualization can have a profound impact over time. Think of it as a mental workout. Just as you would exercise your body regularly to stay fit, you must exercise your mind by consistently visualizing your goals to stay aligned with your vision. Another important element of visualization is pairing it with positive emotions. Don't just see your success, feel it. As you visualize, tap into the emotions you would experience if your dreams had already come true. Feel the excitement, the pride, the gratitude, the joy. These emotions act as a powerful signal to the universe and your subconscious mind, amplifying the effect of your visualization. Emotion is energy, and the more positive energy you infuse into your visualizations, the more momentum you create toward bringing your desires into reality. Visualization is not a passive exercise that works in conjunction with action. It's important to remember that visualizing your success doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for your dreams to magically manifest. Visualization is about priming your mind for success so that when opportunities arise, you are ready to take action. It's about aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions with your goals so that the actions you take are purposeful and effective. Visualizing success gives you clarity and motivation, but it's the steps you take in the physical world that bring those visions to life. As you continue to visualize your success every day, you will notice a shift not only in your mindset, but in the way you show up in the world. You'll start to carry yourself with more confidence. You'll feel more motivated to take risks, push through challenges, and stay committed to your goals. You'll also find that your intuition becomes stronger because you've spent so much time imagining what success looks and feels like. You'll instinctively know when you're on the right path or when adjustments need to be made. In the end, visualization is about creating a blueprint for your success, a mental map that guides you toward the life you desire. By visualizing your success every day, you are not only attracting the outcomes you want, but also becoming the person you need to be to achieve them. You are shaping your reality from the inside out, one thought, one image, one emotion at a time. Success is not just something that happens to you, it is something you create with intention, belief, and vision. And by visualizing your success, you are taking the first and most important step in making it a reality. One of the greatest sources of stress, insecurity, and unhappiness in life is the constant need for approval. We live in a society where validation from others, whether it be from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers, can feel like a measure of our worth. We grow up conditioned to seek approval, whether it's praise from teachers, acceptance from peers, or recognition in the workplace. Over time, this desire for approval becomes deeply ingrained, and many of us find ourselves trapped in a cycle of trying to live up to others' expectations rather than living authentically. But to live a truly fulfilling life, you must release the need for approval and embrace the freedom that comes from self-acceptance. Releasing the need for approval begins with recognizing that your worth is not dependent on what others think of you. Too often we measure our value by external factors, what people say about us, how many likes we get on social media, or how others perceive our choices. But this is a dangerous trap because it places your sense of self-worth in the hands of others. When you rely on external validation to feel good about yourself, you are giving away your power. You become dependent on the opinions of others, and when that approval isn't forthcoming, it can leave you feeling lost, insecure, or unworthy. This constant pursuit of validation is exhausting and unfulfilling because no amount of approval can fill the void of not fully accepting yourself. True freedom comes when you stop chasing approval and start validating yourself. This means acknowledging that you are enough as you are without needing anyone else's permission to feel worthy. When you release the need for approval, you begin to live authentically. You no longer feel the pressure to conform to other people's expectations or to mold yourself into someone you're not just to gain acceptance. You realize that your path, your journey, and your decisions are yours alone, and that the only approval you truly need is your own. Letting go of the need for approval is a process, and it begins with self-awareness. Start by examining the areas in your life where you are seeking external validation. Are there certain people whose approval you crave? Are there choices you've made not because they were right for you, but because you wanted to be accepted by others? Pay attention to the ways in which you compromise your authenticity in order to fit in or be liked. Once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to release them. Acknowledge that while it's natural to want to be liked and appreciated, it's not worth sacrificing your true self for the sake of approval. Part of releasing the need for approval is learning to trust yourself. When you rely on others' validation, you're essentially saying that their opinion is more valuable than your own. You doubt your own judgment and look to others for reassurance. But no one knows your heart, your dreams, and your potential better than you do. Trusting yourself means believing in your own ability to make decisions that are right for you, even if others don't agree or understand. It's about listening to your inner voice and honoring your own needs, desires, and boundaries. When you trust yourself, you become less concerned with what others think and more focused on living in alignment with your truth. Another crucial aspect of releasing the need for approval is embracing imperfection. Many of us seek approval because we believe that if we are perfect, if we say the right things, do the right things, and meet everyone's expectations, we will be loved and accepted. But perfection is an illusion, and chasing it only leads to frustration and burnout. No one is perfect, and trying to be is not only unrealistic but also unnecessary. When you accept yourself as you are, flaws and all, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others. You understand that your worth is not contingent on being perfect or meeting certain standards. It is inherent simply because you exist. A powerful way to release the need for approval is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you fall short of your own or others' expectations. We are often our own harshest critics, and the need for approval can stem from a fear of not being good enough. But self-compassion reminds you that you are deserving of love and acceptance regardless of your mistakes or imperfections. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you are compassionate toward yourself, the opinions of others lose their grip on you because you no longer depend on them for your sense of worth. Releasing the need for approval also means being willing to disappoint others. This can be difficult, especially if you've spent much of your life trying to make others happy. But the truth is, you cannot please everyone. No matter what you do, there will always be people who disapprove, criticize, or judge. Trying to meet everyone's expectations is a losing battle, and in the process, you may end up losing yourself. It's okay to disappoint others if it means staying true to yourself. Your primary responsibility is to honor your own needs and values, not to live according to someone else's script. As you begin to let go of the need for approval, you'll notice a profound shift in your relationships. When you are no longer seeking validation, you approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You stop trying to prove your worth to others and instead show up as your authentic self. This authenticity attracts genuine connections with people who love and accept you for who you are, not for who you are trying to be. Relationships built on authenticity and mutual respect are far more fulfilling than those based on approval seeking and people pleasing. Releasing the need for approval doesn't mean you stop caring about others or their opinions altogether. It's natural to want to be liked and respected, and healthy relationships involve mutual consideration and understanding. However, the key is not to base your self-worth on others' approval. You can value someone's opinion without letting it define you. You can be open to feedback without internalizing it as a reflection of your worth. By maintaining this balance, you can engage with others in a way that is grounded in self-love and confidence. In the end, releasing the need for approval is about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that your worth comes from within, not from external sources. When you stop seeking approval, you free yourself from the limitations and expectations that others place on you. You step into your authenticity, live according to your values, and embrace the freedom that comes from self-acceptance. This is where true happiness and fulfillment lie, not in the fleeting approval of others, but in the unwavering love and acceptance you give to yourself. Trusting in the divine timing of your journey is one of the most profound and liberating perspectives you can adopt. Life often unfolds in ways that seem unpredictable, confusing, or slower than we expect, and it's easy to become frustrated or anxious when things don't happen according to our plans. We might set a goal, work diligently toward it, and yet still face delays or setbacks that make us question whether we're on the right path. But trusting in divine timing means releasing control over when and how things happen, and understanding that the universe operates on its own schedule, a schedule that is always working for our highest good, even if we can't see it in the moment. Divine timing is the belief that everything happens at the right time, in the right way, and for the right reasons. This concept reminds us that the universe has a greater plan for our lives, and it often knows better than we do when we are ready to receive what we desire. Sometimes we might think we're ready for a particular success, relationship, or opportunity, but the universe may have other lessons for us to learn first, or other experiences to guide us through before we can truly embrace those blessings. Trusting in divine timing allows us to let go of the impatience and fear that come with wanting everything to happen immediately. It invites us to relax into the flow of life, knowing that everything will unfold as it should when the time is right. One of the greatest challenges in trusting divine timing is releasing the need for control. We often feel that if we push harder, work more, or try to force things to happen, we can bend life to our will. But in doing so, we may miss out on the subtle guidance the universe is offering us. Divine timing requires patience and faith, two qualities that are difficult to maintain in a world that prioritizes instant gratification and constant action. It's important to remember that while action is necessary, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is surrender. This doesn't mean giving up on our goals or dreams, rather, it means trusting that the universe has a plan, even if it doesn't align with our immediate desires. The idea of divine timing also teaches us that delays and setbacks are not necessarily signs of failure. In fact, what we perceive as obstacles may actually be blessings in disguise. Sometimes the universe places roadblocks in our path to protect us from moving too quickly towards something we aren't yet prepared for. Other times, delays allow us to gain the wisdom, skills, or experiences we need to fully appreciate or handle the success we seek. For instance, someone might be eager to find their perfect career or relationship, but the universe may delay that outcome until they've cultivated the self-awareness, resilience, or emotional maturity necessary to thrive in those circumstances. In hindsight, many of us can look back at moments in our lives when we were frustrated by delays, only to realize later that the timing had been perfect all along. When you trust in divine timing, you develop a deeper sense of peace and acceptance. You stop resisting the flow of life and instead begin to work with it. You understand that just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. It's simply a matter of alignment. When you and the universe are both ready, the path will clear, and what is meant for you will come into your life effortlessly. This mindset shifts you out of a place of lack and fear and into a space of abundance and trust. You recognize that the universe is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating events, people, and opportunities in ways that you cannot yet see. A key part of trusting divine timing is understanding that your journey is unique. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your progress to that of others. You might look around and see people achieving what you want, whether it's career success, financial stability, or personal fulfillment, and wonder why it hasn't happened for you yet. But comparison is one of the quickest ways to lose sight of the beauty of your own path. Divine timing reminds us that we are all on different journeys with different lessons to learn and different experiences to have. What is meant for you will come to you at the right time, in the right way, and no one else's timeline has any bearing on your own. Patience is an essential component of trusting divine timing, and it is also one of the most difficult virtues to cultivate. In moments of doubt or frustration, it can be tempting to give up or to settle for something less than what we truly desire, simply because it seems like things aren't happening fast enough. But trusting divine timing means having the patience to wait for what you truly want, rather than settling for something that doesn't fully align with your vision. It's about trusting that what is meant for you is worth the wait, and that when it arrives, it will exceed your expectations in ways you couldn't have imagined. To fully trust in divine timing, it's important to develop a relationship with the universe. This means staying open to the signs, guidance, and intuition that are always available to you. The universe often communicates with us in subtle ways through synchronicities, gut feelings, or even obstacles that steer us in a different direction. By paying attention to these signs and trusting your inner wisdom, you can navigate your journey with greater ease and clarity. The universe is always guiding you, but it's up to you to remain open and receptive to that guidance rather than trying to force things to happen according to your own timetable. Faith is another crucial element of trusting divine timing. Faith is the belief that even when things seem uncertain or challenging, the universe is still working in your favor. There may be times when you feel lost, when nothing seems to be happening, or when everything appears to be falling apart. But faith is the inner knowing that even in those moments, you are exactly where you need to be. Sometimes the greatest growth happens in the spaces of waiting and uncertainty. When you trust in divine timing, you understand that every experience, whether it's joyful or painful, is part of your soul's journey and is leading you towards something greater. Ultimately, trusting in the divine timing of your journey is an act of surrender and faith. It's about releasing the need to control every aspect of your life and instead trusting that the universe is working in ways you cannot yet see. It's about understanding that delays, challenges, and setbacks are not punishments but opportunities for growth and preparation. When you trust divine timing, you live with a sense of peace, knowing that what is meant for you will never pass you by. You learn to enjoy the journey rather than constantly fixating on the destination. And in doing so, you align yourself with the flow of the universe, allowing miracles and blessings to unfold in perfect timing.